5:35, we're going to start the Calexico City Redevelopment Successor Agency regular meeting, and it's roll call.
Mayor Pacheco,
Here.
Councilmember Hodge is absent. Councilmember Romero,
Here.
Councilmember Arriola Fernandez.
Here.
We have a quorum, Mayor.
Okay. Closed session agenda. Any public comments for the closed sessions? Okay, we're going to adjourn to closed session agendas, items. We want to welcome everybody to our City Council meeting, City Council Calexico Redevelopment Successor Agency, Calexico Finance Authority, regular session meeting agenda. Call of order, please. Roll call.
Mayor Pacheco,
Here.
Councilmember Hodge,
Here.
Councilmember Romero,
Here.
Councilmember Arriola Fernandez.
Here.
We have a quorum, Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Figueroa, could you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please? Yes.
Right hand over your heart, ready, begin. City of Calexico mission statement. Together, we pledge to provide effective and efficient services in a courteous and respectful manner to improve the quality of life for all in our unique border community. Viva Calexico!
Standing, please, and Mr. Romero, would you lead us into invocation? Sure.
Do it with her, I can stand. Or just do it here? Oh, there we go. All right, just quick prayer. Hopefully everything comes out today. I'm going to do it in Spanish. Hope you guys don't mind. Señor, te queremos dar las gracias esta noche. Te queremos dar las gracias de tener la oportunidad de reunirnos aquí como una ciudad que quiere trabajar en conjunto, que te quiere dar toda la gloria a ti. Y te pedimos que nos guíes, que nos fortalezcas y que nos ayudes a que las decisiones que se tomen hoy sean para el beneficio de toda tu gente y que te honren a ti, Señor. Y por eso te queremos dar las gracias. En el nombre de Jesús, agradecemos todo lo que haces por nosotros. Amén.
Thank you, Mr. Romero. Mr. Campos, any closed session announcements, please?
Thank you, Mayor. City Council met in closed session on 2 agendized items. Received direction, but no reportable actions were taken. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda, please?
I'll make that motion, Mr.
Second.
Mayor.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Announcement, Ms. Clerk.
These proceedings may be viewed on the City of Calexico website at www.calexico.ca.gov the Friday following the City Council meeting. Mayor Pacheco will have community office hours to hear the concerns of the citizens the fourth Tuesday of the month from 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. at City Hall in the City Manager's Conference Room, 608 Heber Avenue, Calexico.
Thank you. Today we have a couple of presentations, and the first one goes out to in honor of the 100th anniversary of the Calexico Carnegie Library. And we have the following proclamation for that. Whereas the City of Calexico was incorporated on April the 8th, 1908, and
Whereas in 1908, 24 community members united to organize the Women's Improvement Club of Calexico, and whereas Mrs. John B. Steindorf was elected the first president of the Women's Improvement Club of Calexico, and with the members saw a need for growth and culture, and rented an adobe building owned by the Southern Pacific Railroad and started Calexico's first circulating library and included a reading room and a restroom. And whereas in early 1910, the Women's Improvement Club of Calexico hired Mrs. Dorothy Gleason as the first regular civic librarian, serving the community 3 hours a day and 3 times a week. Encouraged by the success and growth of the project, Mrs. Bessie Wolford was installed as, quote, custodian of the books, unquote. And
Whereas in 1912, the Calexico Public Library through the efforts of Mrs. Beffy Wofford, as the city's first head librarian, became a branch of the Imperial County Free Public Library. And whereas on February 19, 1919, the opening of the new Carnegie Library to the public was under the auspices of the Women's Improvement Club of Calexico, and whereas the Carnegie Library continued to serve the community of Calexico under the following leadership: 1949 through 1959, Mrs. Florrie Charles; 1960 through 1963, Mr. Robert F. Huffman; 1963 through 1968, Mr. Peter McElhaney; 1968 through 1975, Mrs. Eunice Kirkland; 1975 through 1987, Mr. John P. Merkley; 1988 through 1989, Mrs. Mary Frances Johnson.
Whereas, since 1990, Mrs. Sandra Taylor has served as the director of the library, and whereas the Carnegie Library served the community for 66 years, closing in 1986 due to structural damage, and whereas it reopened in 2010 with the help of a grant from the California Culture and Historical Endowment. And
whereas the Carnegie Library was renamed the Calexico Carnegie Technology Center, and it continues to serve the community to this day, offering free access to the internet, numerous online resources, and free public access computers. And
whereas all of the pioneers of the Women's Improvement Club, the Library Board of Trustees, past and present head librarians, and residents are commended for their combined efforts, which made the 1919 Carnegie Library a reality.
Now therefore, I, Louis Pacheco, Mayor of the City of Calexico, on behalf of the Calexico City Council, do proclaim February the 19th, 2019 as Calexico Carnegie Library Day, in celebration of the 100th anniversary of the Calexico Carnegie Library, and encourage the members of the community to participate in the anniversary celebration. In witness whereof, I hereto affix my signature and official seal of the City of Calexico on the 6th day of February, 2019. Thank you. And I believe we have Ms. Guerrero to receive.
and also the people that are here from the two other ladies.
Members of the
Women's Improvement Club.
Women's Improvement Club. You guys want to take a group photo?
Sure.
What's her name? I can't black it out. There, yes, that's correct. Yes. Cheese. Pizza. One down, two to go.
I'd just like to make a really quick comment. It's a pleasure to be here today to accept this proclamation. It is with the support of the City Council that the Carnegie Library has continued throughout all these years. And of course, the Calexico Women's Improvement Club continues with the support of the council as well as the members of the community by supporting our projects and the fundraising that we do. I also want to mention that Councilwoman Fernandez is a member of the Women's Improvement Club. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Guerrero. Our next proclamation is recognizing one of our restaurants, McDonald's Restaurants, for its commitment to our community. We have the following for that. Recognizing McDonald's of Calexico on its grand reopening and dedication of service to the community. Whereas McDonald's of Calexico opened in the summer of 1977 in the city of Calexico, California, and
whereas McDonald's of Calexico's purpose is to support the well-being of the residents and visitors of the city of Calexico, and whereas McDonald's of Calexico's commitment is to support education for the growth of the city of Calexico, and
Whereas McDonald's of Calexico also attends to community matters when called upon, and
whereas McDonald's of Calexico has and will continue to promote general welfare of the city of Calexico, and
now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Calexico hereby congratulates McDonald's of Calexico on its grand reopening, and by this proclamation acknowledges its dedication of service to the community of Calexico. In witness whereof I hereunto affix my signature and official seal of the City of Calexico on this 6th day of February, 2019. Congratulations, McDonald's. Mr. Lemus, come on down. Sorry, that was Mr. Leon, not,
Mr. Mayor, you got about 30 seconds?
Sure.
You know what, the Leon family, I want to thank you guys, because as a kid, in Calexico, where we didn't have employment as a kid, Mr. Gonzalez gave me the opportunity, when I was in high school, to actually be a hamburger flipper. Yeah, a long time ago. 1977, I was 9 years old when you guys opened, and I remember going to the grand opening, and a lot of us here my age remember that. But I did learn a lot of work ethic working for McDonald's, which is it's a great company. And they taught us how to get along with other people, customer service was number one, customer was always right, working out in the sun, doing the apron. For you guys that know McDonald's, doing the apron means mopping and cleaning the outside of the McDonald's, unloading the trucks, breakfast and everything. So to me, it was a great experience, and humbled to work with a lot of good people from across the border, and a lot of people here from Calexico. I made a lot of good friends there. A lot of us have gone on to very great professions. We've had some that passed away, but in memory of Mr. Gonzalez, he built a great empire. And to you guys, I wish you nothing but the best and continued success in McDonald's. And I say with all my heart, because I worked there, and I sweat there, and I used to hate working during Easter. You guys know why. It was the busiest season. So thank you, Mr. Mayor.
and also, Mr. Leon, thank you for offering those job opportunities to those 17, 18, 19, 20-year-olds that are looking for a part-time job and going to school and going to high school and IBC, and it's good to know that there's a place for them if they want to start earning a little money, and that's McDonald's. Thank you for that. We have another presentation proclamation declaring the week of February 7th through the 14th as National Marriage Week. Okay. A los casados. Declaring the week February 7th to the 14th as National Marriage Week. Whereas marriage binds couples together in a network of affection, mutual aid, and mutual obligation, commits fathers to their children, and connects children to a wider network of welcoming kin. Marriage thus is the outward visible sign of a couple's desire to create a lasting life and provide the bastion ongoing of support necessary for the growth of healthy children and a healthy family. And
whereas mounting scientific evidence confirms the best environment for children to flourish is in being raised by parents in healthy marriages rather than unhealthy marriages or by a single or cohabitating parents. And these children demonstrate less behavioral problems in school, are less likely to be a victim of physical or sexual abuse, less likely to abuse drugs and alcohol, less likely to commit delinquent behaviors, have a better relationship with their mothers and fathers, are less likely to be sexually active and become pregnant as a teenager or impregnate someone, are less likely to contract STDs, have a decreased chance of divorcing when they get married, and are less likely to be raised in poverty. And
whereas healthy marriages protect adults as well as children, mothers as well as fathers, and research indicates that women in healthy relationships experience more physical and emotional health, more wealth, are less likely to be victims of domestic violence, sexual assault, or other violent crimes, less likely to attempt or commit suicide, have decreased risk of drugs or alcohol use, and less likely to contract STDs, are less likely to remain or end up in poverty, and more likely to have better relationships with their children. And
whereas research also indicates that men in healthy marriages are more likely to live longer, be physically and emotionally healthier, have increased stability of employment, higher wages, decreased risk of drug and alcohol abuse, have better relationships with their children, more satisfying relationship with their spouse, are less likely to attempt or commit suicide. And
whereas we acknowledge the importance of lasting, healthy marriage to be the well-being of children, therefore, to the future of our community, we recognize that our community benefits from having a high percentage of couples in healthy relationships. We note the following: higher rates of physically healthy citizens, higher rates of emotionally healthy citizens, higher rates of educated citizens, lower domestic violence rates, lower crime statistics, lower teenage pregnancy rates, lower rates of juvenile delinquency, higher rates of home ownership, higher property values, and overall decreased need of social services. Recent advances in research have helped us identify the behaviors and skills necessary for a healthy relationship. Furthermore, we now have proven methods for teaching these skills and behaviors. And
now therefore be it resolved that in consideration of all these important values for our community, I, Luis Pacheco, Mayor, proclaim the week of February 7th through February the 14th, 2019 as National Marriage Week in the city of Calexico. In witness whereof, I hereunto affix my signature and the official seal of the city of Calexico on the 6th day of February 2019. Thank you. Mr. Luis de la Torre. Is Luis available? Oh, congratulations. Come on down. Photo, please.
photo op?
terrific opportunity to address the council members and everybody in attendance. On behalf of IVRP, our Board of Trustees, and our staff, we thank you for the reading of the proclamation. We truly believe in what you read. At IVRP, we truly believe that healthy and supported individuals have a better opportunity to succeed in life. We provide family development and stabilization services at Imperial Valley ROP, and we take a look at providing individual services, but we take the holistic approach because we truly believe that a healthy relationship, whether it's a marriage or whether it's a significant other, really helps the success of our students as well as our communities. I also want to take an opportunity to cordially invite you to the 12th Annual Imperial Valley Community Foundation Dancing with the Stars Gala. The gala this year is going to be held at the Keishan Casino on May 3rd, and Calexico promises to be well represented. So Calexico includes 2 dancers, and one of the dancers is your very own city manager, Mr. Dale.
Oh.
So please come out and support him.
He's doing a cumbia or
You'll have to-
salsa?
You'll have to ask him as to,
Cha-cha.
I think it's still a secret what he's doing. But furthermore, Calexico is also well represented by Ms. Yvette Irales, who is a Calexico high school teacher. So it promises to be a great event. It's for scholarships. It's also to promote career technical student organizations at all the high schools in Imperial County. So we cordially invite you to that. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the invitation. Good luck, Mr. Dale. Okay. Down to public comments. Anybody wishing to?
This is the time for the public to address the city council on any item not appearing on the agenda that's within the subject matter jurisdiction of the city council. The mayor will recognize you when you come to the microphone. Please state your name and address of residence for the record. While members of the public are encouraged to participate, it is unlawful to disturb or delay the council meeting with slanderous or personal remarks. If the item you wish to comment on is on consent item, please comment now. The city council is prohibited by state law from taking action or discussing items not included on the printed agenda. If the item you wish to comment on is on the public portion of the agenda, we will take your comment when we get to the item on the agenda. Please direct your questions and comments to the city council.
We have one comment.
Armando Real, 1213 Jasmine Street, Honorable Council. Public, I just want to take the time also to echo what our Chief of Police said about the Leon family. Manuel, Jose, there's a lot of companies that say they help the community, but I'm going to say a lot of them fall short. I know firsthand, Calexico Boxing Academy, you guys have bent over backwards for that nonprofit. And a lot of others. And I just want to thank you guys for not just doing business in Calexico and obviously doing well and profiting from it, but giving back to the community. I can't say enough about you guys and the way you guys run business. And my hat's off to you guys, and again, success in the future many more times. Thank you.
Mr. Kim?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the council. I believe we're going to have a more packed, but I believe a lot of people disappointed. And it's up to you guys today making decision. The Calexico is so spooky again, or you guys will make it a little better. And so you guys are making decision for the community, do for the community, not for you guys political power or interesting. Make you guys handsome, or you guys are worse. We might gonna have a Halloween more earlier. People are suffering in their families, their lost job and business. You guys have to be careful with them. What you put in the seed, what you're gonna get returns. Don't hurt the people. Help the people, they can manage their business, they can support their life. And also, I believe lots of business impacting about closing the Santo Tomas, even though Calexico was one of them, they're impacting their business. And of course, sooner or later, it's going to be impacting cities' income too. So please, to taking care of the citizens and local business.
Thank you, Mr. Kim. That's all we have for comments. Thank you. Wow. Comments from city council members? Anything they wish to share?
Okay. Yes. Just wanted a little update on my request. The commission template gives the different commissions and the members and then commission procedures. And before you even begin, I want to acknowledge and congratulate that we're going to start having commission training. So that's a real plus. But how's it going?
I've made that request to our city clerk, so I would defer
Excellent.
that to the
Thank
city
you.
clerk.
So we're in the process?
We're in the process of putting together.
Okay. I know it takes time. Okay, very good. And I attended, through SCAG, I'm on a subcommittee which is called RENA. RENA stands for Regional Housing Needs Assessment. It is quite a complex and comprehensive process. It's a real learning curve, but I thought I would just start with the basic definition tonight. What is RENA? It is mandated by the state housing law as part of the periodic process of updating local housing elements of the general plan. So that's something we're going to have to do. Communities use RENA in land use planning, prioritizing local resources, allocation, and in deciding how to address, identify existing and future housing needs resulting from population, employment, and household growth. It allows communities to anticipate growth so that collectively the region and the sub-region can grow in ways that enhance the quality of life, improve access to jobs, promotes transportation mobility, and addresses social equity, fair share housing needs, and so forth. So that's just a caption of what it stands for, but there's so many aspects to it, and as I continue to go to the meetings, I'll come back and report to you on it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hodge. Anybody else? Mr. Romero?
Go ahead. Okay. Mr. Romero and I attended the League of Cities Academy in Irvine, and it very informative. It was, we networked with different mayors and city councils, newly elected city councils. It's mandatory. And now we just got an overall view of the responsibilities of being a city council member. That's it.
Oh, thank you.
Just to piggyback off of Mrs. Araura Fernandez, we were there in the League of Cities last week, got the opportunity to learn a lot of things here of a lot of different visions and priorities, especially how both San Diego County and our county are facing similar challenges, and got a chance to network with many other newly elected council members and mayors, and I actually had a chance to speak to the president of the California League of Cities and their vision for California. So it's exciting to be here and learn and be able to put that into work here. And, you know, just off another note, also congratulate again Mr. De Leon family and Rodriguez. I had the pleasure of actually being with Emmanuel since elementary and school and seeing how they've always helped out through sports youth programs and have donated so many Happy Meals to so many kids through different nonprofit organizations. It's just an honor to be able to actually give them this proclamation, and I hope they continue serving the community. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Mr. Romero. I have nothing to add. Mr. Figueroa, anything for the good of the order? Mr. Dale?
Just like to point out, we have the honor tonight of having our IID Director, Eric Ortega, here, and our Board of Supervisor, Mr. Escobar, here, too, just in attendance. Just like to point that out.
Those two guys, those two low riders?
Yes.
Low riders.
Okay, thank you. Acknowledging our consent agenda, is there a motion to receive and make a motion
I'll-
for this consent agenda, item 6 and 7?
Yes, I'll make the motion to approve items 6 and 7.
We have an item 7, okay.
Again, Calexico, we are running the Compa business again. Number 7, they got RFP from the local only. Our city's financing is supposed to be tax dollars to looking into the way of the cheapest cost to us, to impacting our business. And our city is not doing their jobs. No wonder we got pinpointed by the state controllers. And a lot of things, our council not doing their job to serving the community. And today, several things I'm going to bring it for the another issues. But council member is not a rubber stamping. You are the one who's doing the business or duties to save and serve the community. And looks like ignoring to running the Compa system to hire, give the job from the, somebody's. Why not open the community? Why not open the for the outside the local? Mostly they have more high tech. They can help us a lot better than inside of the local. Probably they might gonna subcontract them part of the job, but we should be. And also, I've been warning, I've been keep reading the issues again. The major D money is supposed to be work together to try to fix any road conditions. Before we do it, we should do it. We should study and road conditions. We should change our water lines or sewer lines. But after they've done the street again, and then they open again to do it, it costs us. We're wasting a lot of tax dollars money. Please do your job as council members, not as cheerleaders. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kim. Just for the record, we did discover this item was a collapsed manhole, and it was already deteriorating. So there was a special need to really address the issue. Mr. Dale, would you like to?
Yes, I would. The reason why we state the mission statement every meeting is to remind ourselves what we're here for. And that mission statement is very important to me and the rest of the staff, to be efficient and effective and to provide services for the city. In this particular case, we're doing the Cesar Chavez project. And we found while doing the project, and I agree with Mr. Kim when he says that, we need to replace the infrastructure before we do the work. And in this case, this is exactly what's happening. We discovered a manhole that was buried 2 feet in the dirt. We uncovered the manhole. We did a review and inspection of the manhole, and we found that the manhole was in incredibly bad condition. Now, normally what we like to do is do what we call rehabilitation of manhole, where we get in there, we clean the manhole, and then we plaster the interior of the manhole with new concrete. Unfortunately, in this case, the manhole was so deteriorated that we were unable to rehabilitate it, so it needs to be replaced. Now, we're calling it an emergency because if we don't do it now, we're going to pave over that manhole and have to cut the street open, as Mr. Kim just rightfully mentioned. We don't want to do that. So what we do is we go out and ask for quotes from local contractors. And we got the lowest quote. Actually, in this case, it was the only quote, I believe, and that we received. It's a reputable company. It's a company that's been in business for a long time in the county and done a lot of work for the city of Calexico, and they're a good company. So we recommend that we move forward. If not, we're going to pave over a bad manhole, and I'm sure Mr. Kim doesn't want to do that.
And, we needed to act on it. There was a motion to accept items 6 and 7. Is there a second?
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Passed. Discussion of potential action items. Item number 8, fill the vacancy of the city council by appointment. I'd like to state that we did have an ad hoc committee that did the groundwork and did submit applicants, and we want to thank those people that applied. It was a hard decision on these members looking at the applications and screening and doing what they did to make sure that we get the top candidates for this vacancy. So we have the top candidates list in front of you. So we're going to look at that and make a decision tonight. So we have one individual that was.
Mr. Mayor, we have some public comments that we'd
There
like
is a
to.
couple. I'm sorry.
Mr. Camilo Garcia?
Mayor Pacheco, members of the City Council, staff, and citizens of Calexico. First of all, I want to take this opportunity to thank the ad hoc committee for the work and diligence and exercise that they did in this process. The process to select and appoint a new council member. I applaud all the participants, all the applicants, for submitting an application for consideration for this vacancy. All of us share a common goal, and that is the willingness to serve the citizens of Calexico. We know that there are many challenges facing our city, but for every challenge, there are also many opportunities. We just want to make sure that none of those opportunities stay on the table. There has been lots of improvements for the last 2 years, and that is to be commended. Well, we need to keep that momentum going. We need to diversify our economy and create new revenue sources. We need to continue our renewed partnerships with neighboring cities, county, state, and federal government. We need to sit down with our school district and institutions of higher learning and make them participants in the overall plan to create a sustainable economy through a prepared workforce. This is the key for business diversification, retention, and attraction. In Calexico, by far, people is the greatest asset, whether it's the city staff or our fellow citizens. So to the staff, let's provide them with the tools that they need to continue to do their jobs. To the citizens, let's equip them with the skill sets that they need to be self-sufficient. I thank you for the opportunity to speak to you tonight. And may God bless the city of Calexico. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Hortensia Armendariz?
Good evening. My name is Hortensia Armendariz, 709 Harrington Street, here in Calexico. I have been a resident of Calexico for 46 years. I have been a dedicated, active community member who is honest, dedicated, hardworking, and live a life of integrity. These same attributes describe my husband, Camilo Garcia, who is in the audience, not knowing that I would address him. I even gave Ms. Garcia the paper hidden because he doesn't know that I'm talking. The reason that I decided to address you, just in case you doubted who Camilo Garcia is and what he's all about, I stand before you and let you know that Camilo Garcia is a man of integrity who is dedicated, honest, hardworking, and has a passion to see Calexico thrive. Each of you had an opportunity to read his application and probably heard him speak and share his platform during the elections. His knowledge and ideas are not all just talk, but it comes from an intelligent man who is committed to make a difference. I know that not all council members have the honor to serve after their first election attempt, as many have tried more than once before this goal is fulfilled. The number of tries does not define who they are or changes their commitment in making a difference. Camilo Garcia does not have a hidden agenda, and the only thing that he owes to anyone is the commitment to the residents of Calexico by helping to make Calexico a better Calexico, and to offer our citizens and us the greatest quality of life. Not too many wives or husbands would stand in a podium and do what I just did, but I hope this shows you that I trust and believe Camilo Garcia can be instrumental in helping each of you make Calexico the best it can be. Please vote and appoint Camilo Garcia as the next council member for the city of Calexico. Last night I wrote that thinking that was it, but then I have this to add. I was just made aware that there is an individual that is trying to tarnish Camilo's name, and this is so sad, because this person is just trying to hide his own wrongdoings. This move is just so political and so pathetic, and it just shows that certain people just care for themselves, and they just want this for personal gains. If you believe what was told to you, I hope you took the time to investigate its validity. If you didn't, then it's just a chisme and hearsay. I wouldn't be here if I believed in Camilo.
Thank you.
Mr. Kim?
First of all, the city of Calexico is going to be another trouble. Not only from state controllers. Sooner or later, we're going to have a big waves coming in. The way they're doing it, we are going to be another big issues coming in, and we have another agenda today is coming in there to try to do so. And the city council, they want their teamwork. They want to be, someone can be cheerleader for them to get power. They were saying is, they know that their Kim's defending for the community, but he's not working with the council. Any council member, any elected person, elected to make the team to hurting the city. They should have own individual vision, communication with the community, looking into the community benefit. When they see the community benefit, they got together. If they don't, they not agree. So they try to set someone defamating the personnel. That's wrong. And clearly, council member has or believe they have a power for overriding the community. They should not doing extra job application. They should all the candidate considerations, not as a recommendation by certain council members. And there's another clearly reason is for the full name of the recommendation, their last elections too lowest voters, vote getters. That's what they believing they can overriding communities, people's vote and wishes. That's why we have a bad luck. Our city of Calexico is still going down, and they're going to get worse, being cheerleaders. Thank you.
Thank you for the comments. As I was saying, the ad hoc committee did have an opportunity to rank these individuals 1 through 4. Number 1, we had a redacted. He withdrew his application and his name for the vacancy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to
Mr. Mayor, may I interject for a second? We had discussed that the other two, if they like, they can also get up and have 3 minutes to,
we're addressing that right now. Nobody else wants to come to.
okay, so the other two candidates do not care to come up and give a little speech as far as your background or your skills or so forth? Okay.
Okay. Given that, we're having the rankings. Chris Velasco withdrew, so we're going with the next top candidate, which was Mr. Jose Lopez. Mr. Jose Lopez has 19 years of service to the Campesinos Unidos as the executive director. He currently has a business BS from San Diego State, and he has a business marketing master's from the University of Riverside. And he's also served in several committees for the city as the part of the New River Committee, and he also served under the Financial Committee, and he was also a member of the Economic Development for Downtown. So I'm going to make I'm going to make a motion that we accept Mr. Lopez. Is there a second?
Yeah, if we don't have a second, the motion will die.
We'll go on to the next
Yes,
candidate that,
Yeah, I just want to clarify, there's no second and the motion dies.
the motion dies because of no second. Thank you.
And
Mr.
if
Campbell.
there's a tie, the motion died.
Now we're going to go with the next candidate that was ranked, and that is Mr. Morris Risen. I make a motion that we accept Mr. Risen. Is there a second?
I second.
All those in favor of having Mr. Risen fill the vacancy of Mr. Escobar, please say aye.
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 Aye. Welcome, Mr. Risen.
I'd like to thank the mayor and city council for giving me this opportunity that I've been long waiting for to help us fix this town. It's been stagnant for 8 years now, and I think it's time that we all work together. I'm here to do what I have to do downtown because I have 50 years experience, and I learned what we have to do here downtown. That's my priority. But also to bring the other council with me to meet all the merchants and get this thing going and bring some anchor stores and fill up this town. That's one of my priorities. The other one, the safety of the police and fire. Chalo's doing a good job, and I plan to keep him working with us because he's doing very well. Dale and Mr. Figueroa, I'm with you. You guys are doing a great job, and thanks for what you're doing. And Mr. Pacheco, thank you again, and everybody else. And I'm here to do whatever you guys need, and we'll work together. We're going to do a lot here. I don't just stay in the dais. I go out and I do my footwork, my leg work, and that's what I'm going to do. And I expect you guys to follow me, and I'll teach you everything I know. I'll give you my 50 years of experience.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Risen. I just wanted to add.
I also want to acknowledge all my friends that were very diligent trying to get me in. You got, all these people that are here. And I can't even think right now. It's Sam Munoz. He was my campaign manager, and he's been working very hard. Shui Ineguez, you got Gus Galindo, you got Eric Ortega. So many of us that, you know, we just wanna fix this town. We wanna better this town, and we can do it. I know I can do it because I have the experience, I believe.
And we do want to acknowledge, Mr. Risen, that you've been a businessman, you've been on the bid committee, you've helped with the recreation, you've donated to the Little League, to the high schools, you've sponsored Teamster Mexicali that went to the Little League World Series. You've been a valued member of our community for all those things that you've done, and assisting the schools. When I was at the school, you gave me a very good price on our equipment for PE, and I just want to commend you for that. And you do bring in a wealth of information for the downtown area and how we can better and improve that area.
We will also, I want to get together and we want to talk to Mr. Salazar, David Salazar, the head port director, and try to move the lanes quicker than before. I've been talking to him before.
Yeah,
and
of course.
Perfect.
We can do it. We want to get extra lanes in there. We're going to do it. I'm very excited about this whole situation, believe me.
Thank you.
I'm excited. I've been anxious to get in here and do it. So hopefully, thank you, Rosie and David and Mr. Hodge. Thank you very much.
I just need to add this one comment, Mr. Risen, that it's recommended that the swearing in of the selected appointee will take place after a live scan results are viewed and approved. That was part of it. So thank you. We'll add that, and then we bring you back and give you your
let's just I mean, the motion did not specify that, so let's just clarify whether or not that was a requirement from the entire council.
So we'll add that to the motion that we accept Mr. Risen, and it's being recommended that him to be sweared in, he needs to go through the live scan process.
If the council's on board, is consistent with that.
That's what's written here on the plan. It's right here, the first paragraph.
There was a recommendation from the ad hoc.
committee.
The motion did not specify that. The motion did not require that, so we want to get clarity
We wanted to
whether
add
or
it
not
to it.
that's
It
going to be
was-
part of the motion.
The recommendation is for that.
So
The last
it would
line.
be pending a live scan?
Exactly. Okay? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Congratulations, Mr. Rising.
Mr. Mayor, just wanted to add real quick, had the pleasure of knowing Mr. Risen since a very, very young age, being involved with local sports since a very young age myself. Mr. Risen was always one of the persons that was there, whether he was providing uniforms, sponsorships throughout high school as well, always supporting Bulldog football, and knowing his extensive knowledge and network to help rebuild downtown. I think it's going to be amazing to be able to work with such a gentleman like him, and we're definitely looking forward and working all together to, make Calexico better. So, welcome, Mr. Morris Rison.
Again, congratulations, Mr. Risen.
Congratulations.
Moving on to number 9, please. Item 9, authorize city manager to sign change order number 4 with Pyramid Construction and Aggregate, Inc. in the amount of $255,250,000 for Cesar Chavez improvement. Mr. Dale.
It's clarifying, it's $255,250. No millions in there.
Okay. I saw too many zeros.
Yeah, we saw during the construction over on Cesar Chavez, just south of 98, where the drainage was intended to block. Maybe, Mayor, should we wait until the?
I think so, sir.
What, do we want to take a little break?
You don't need a break, but maybe just wait until the noise comes.
Let's take a break.
5 minutes?
I recommend that.
Okay.
We'll take a 5-minute break and return to the agenda. Thank you. Thank you for that. We're going to resume our session, and we're on number 9 still.
Yes, sir.
So we're going to authorize change order for Pyramid for $255,250 for Cesar Chavez improvements. Is there a motion to accept?
Motion to accept.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Item number 10, removal of biosolids for the wastewater treatment plant. It's been requested proposal from AgTech LLC and authorize the city manager to sign an agreement between the city of Calexico and AgTech LLC. Mr. Dale.
This is actually one of those items where we had time to go to bids, and we put a request for proposals out there. We got some proposals back from 2 companies. This is an item that is normal business. We need to remove the biosolids on a periodic basis, and it's time now.
Okay.
And this is wastewater enterprise funds.
So this is
We need to
just,
remove the sludge. It's
Correct.
It's
I
what
don't
it-
even
and
wanna know
on an
what's in
annual
the
basis we do
sludge.
it,
Yes.
and it's time to do it. Is there a motion to accept?
make a
item
motion.
10? Is there a
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Motion by Councilman Hodge, second.
You want to take this one?
Moving down to item number 11, services for a writing and review services for Chris Westlake. Authorize the city manager to sign agreement with professional services with Chris Westlake Consulting for writing and review services of the 2018 Community Development Block Grant Program.
Yes,
Mr. Figueroa.
Mr. Mayor and honorable council members, as we've been discussing with you since the last quarter of 2018, the city has been working diligently with HCD, the Housing and Community Development Agency in Sacramento, to be eligible and go after program monies that fall under the Community Development Block Grant and the Home Program. The city successfully submitted a application for the Home Program, and now we are coming back, as we informed you last month, about the possibility and consideration of applying for CDBG monies. One of the things that I want to point out is that the city manager's office conducted an RFP process for which we received 3 proposals for the specific duties that you identified when you read the item, Mr. Mayor. And it was a consensus by the evaluation committee that Chris Westlake Consultant be selected. Some of the duties that Mr. Westlake will provide are to provide professional services to carry the city through the process of making sure that we not only submit an application, but address every single thing that the program asks for.
Great.
I also want to highlight that this is not going to impact the general fund at all. Given the requirements and stipulations by HCD, these services can be paid through the program income of CDBG. So with that said, we bring this to your consideration for approval.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve this
And-
item.
Which is fine. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And Mr. Figueroa, it's only going to be 18,000 for his services?
That is correct, Mr. Mayor.
Okay.
It's a $3 million grant, potentially.
Yeah, it's peanuts compared to that.
Right?
Very good. Item 12, we're going to introduce first reading, ordinance number 1196, an ordinance of the City of Calexico, amending the city's purchasing policy and procedures to increase purchasing authority of the city manager. Mr. Dale.
Mr. Mayor,
Is there public comments?
Yes.
Mr. Kim?
Actually, you guys scare me today. I'm very freaked out with these items. 2013, December 17, here's agenda, copy. Passed, city council, city manager, Oscar Rodriguez, bring this one to the 10,000, increase to the 50,000. Of course, I was against it. John Moreno, Marisa Hurtado, Bill Hachi supported. Because this, we causing all the problem, financial problems. Because $50,000, city manager hire consultant to investigating council members and the city police chiefs. Starting from there, they're spending more than $22 million. And not only that, city manager, all the expenditures, even though they fired the employees, they're giving the $50,000 check to keep quiet, just quit the fighting. It's really spooky, this one. We're gonna go on another under if we approve this one. This is you guys are giving up the check and balance. It shouldn't be increasing. After this one, they buy the $100,000, $400,000 automobiles, spending. I was questioning. Of course, that time was Marisa Hurtado, John Moreno, Armando Real. They're supporting it. So even they were wrong, a lot of wrong spending. We spend it after they spend it. Even we couldn't we can put him the criminal charges. We should not increase it. The city manager, if they have something too important, they should bring in, even if we necessary to special meeting, have to bring to the council to approve it. Even with this money, they $50,000 they bought some like a civilians equipment. They put the consultant to put the civilians behind the city council member June Kim and Castro. That's what they've been done. So it's a 1 year, less than 1 year. There's overspending $8 million. More than that, another. This is general funds. Another project money like forfeiture monies. They spend a lot, and they will spend a lot of water money because that. We should not approve this one. Leave it as it is. If they necessary, we can get the council members special meeting to conduct the business. This is giving up you're tithing your hands and the legs. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor? Sure.
Go ahead.
Ms.
Is there another one?
Another one?
Ismael Lopez.
Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, Mr. Mayor, councilman, councilwoman. Ismael Lopez, 1094 Holdridge, from our city. I have just a comment, and Mr. Kim, you brought news to me. First of all, I want to acknowledge or probably say that to put this in the agenda, this item, the due diligence was done, deeply done. That means all internal controls were reviewed, all the different levels of authority and spending were reviewed, and there is a consensus that this increase has a reason. Hopefully, within these reasons, other considerations must be taken. One of them is, how about co-signing? How about somebody else's reviewing and approving, so not all the responsibility is with the city manager? Co-share the responsibility. Sad news is, you all know, now we're going to be audited because of past disbursements. I thought that serving in the commission, finance commission, we went through it, and several sessions that were informed, and shame on us as commissioners that would not review that everything was documented, that accounting was put in place, that all the rules were followed. And now I'm saying that there is not. I feel embarrassed because I didn't do my job. I can't speak for the other commissioners, but I speak for myself. I didn't do my job. And because of that, Mr. Hodges, right now I'm presenting my resignation to your appointment towards this person. I'm sad because of these new events. Not that I'm trying to hide of my obligations. I just didn't perform it. And I can speak for the committee as well. I thank you for the opportunity. Council, thank you very much for putting your trust in me. I have a trust in you that things will change and things will be done in accordance to the law. And please review your manuals, your internal controls, and make them unbreakable.
Accountable.
Prepare for the future. Today, the present is weak. The future has to be very strong. Thank you so very much, and may God bless you all. Thank you very much. Good night.
Thank you, Mr. Lopez, for your service. Thank you very much.
Yes, Mr. Lopez, thank you. You've brought to this council items in the past that made us consider some rethinking, and we thank you for that. But anyway, Mr. Dale?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Once again, I'd like to allude to the mission statement that we take so seriously. The first part of it says, we pledge to provide effective and efficient services. So we're trying to be as efficient as possible in this. A special meeting, every time we have to call a special meeting, it costs the city money for the recording, the city attorney, our time, your time. I'd like to point out one thing that Mr. Lopez, you mentioned, having a second signature. Actually, right now, what's the difference between now and 2015 is we have an honest, professional finance director who looks after everything. She doesn't let me get away with anything, I promise you. So if it's not in the budget or if there's something that I'm doing, she will tell me. So we have redundancy. We have people looking over. It's not just that I'm making decisions so we have that, and it's important. We're not asking to go to 50,000. We're asking about half to 25,000.
That's what I thought.
We're constantly running into this wall. It's happened so many times, and in our department head meetings, the department head said, "Can you ask council?" And I hesitated. I do not want to bring this, but now it's come to the point where we're running into this so often that's why we're asking at this point to make it 25,000, because there are times when we need to make fast and efficient things happening, and it doesn't happen because I said nope, can't sign it. That's 11,005. I'm sorry, I got to take it to council. So, and also another item is that everything that I sign for, everything that goes through the finance department, it's on the warrants list. It's not that something that we can hide or cover up. You're seeing everything that we're doing. So I just like to mention that thing.
So there's a visible acknowledgement of the expenditure.
Correct. And again, if we can't get out of budget now because we have budget, we're being watched. All the items. So if I cannot possibly go over budget because our finance director will say no. So
keep up the good work.
Right.
And she has kept me in line, I promise.
Is there a motion to accept item number 12?
Motion to approve item number 12.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Moving on to item 13.
Mr. Mayor, we're going to request a continuance. There's going to be another parallel ordinance that's going to amend another section of the code regarding the sewer laterals and having the city be responsible for those within the right-of-way. So it seems best is to bring both ordinances together since they will
So you want to table this one?
table this to continue to the next council meeting.
Continue. So item
Correct.
13 will
So that way
be,
we'll have one presentation and both ordinances will take effect at the same time.
Very good.
makes sense, Mr. Campos. Item 13. Future agenda items, anybody?
If I may, Mr. Mayor?
Yep.
Maybe ask the city manager, I would like to take a look at our transit services for our seniors. Had the pleasure of talking to a couple of seniors in the past 2 weeks where they've been concerned with the lack of service that's been provided to them to transport them, like under buses. I understand that First Transit's the one that does it for the city of Calexico and its seniors. And we'd like to see if maybe we can put on the agenda to get a report on how that's going and its financial status as well, what it costs the city to run it and what their actual numbers are and how many seniors they're servicing, since I know we do have probably the biggest senior community in the entire county. That's it, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Not I, sir.
There was something, I'm sorry to interrupt, Mr. Mayor, but there was a request to put to find out what the amount was that we got from the car tent sales. We're still working on that with our consultant HDL. I just wanted to let you know that that report will be coming. We're still waiting for that news to come in.
Mr. Dale, I had a couple of residents tell me that I know there's a lot of work on Cesar Chavez, and they're being blocked from using Grant. And
Right.
I had that discussion with you, but how are we along for opening up that Grant east-west crossing? Yeah,
It was my understanding that Grant Street will open this week.
this week. Yeah.
Mhm. Is that correct?
It's a long route for
Yes.
them to go all the way around.
Yes.
I know we're working as fast as we can. And
Correct.
expedite. I know we are, but it's their neighborhood. It's
Understood, and we understand the inconvenience.
to and from, get the kids to school and all that.
Understood.
Yeah, I understand.
That will be an intersection with a signal light. That's what we're working with, so.
Mr. Figueroa, could you respond to Friday with Mr. Assemblyman, Mr. Garcia? Did you want to expand on that a little?
Yes, absolutely. This Friday at 6 p.m., there's going to be a meet and greet session with Assemblyman Eduardo Garcia. It's an open invitation to the public, so anybody that wishes to attend is more than welcome to. One of the things that we want to highlight is some of the projects that we're going to be bringing to present to the council in the coming meetings, which has to do with resources that have been secured through the leadership of Assemblyman Garcia and Senator Hueso. So we thought that it would be extremely beneficial to have the Assemblyman attend a local Calexico business headed by young entrepreneurs that have decided to invest and keep their business in our city. So we feel that that is what we want to promote. That's what we want to showcase. So the Assemblyman was graceful enough to have his meet and greet at Calexico Brewing Company.
Amazing.
And it's going to be at 6.
Yes, this Friday at 6 p.m. at Calexico Brewing Company.
Thank you. Anything else for the good of the order? All those in favor of adjournment?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much.